So, hi everyone. Myself, I am a Gopi Krishna. Currently, I'm working as a SDE2 backend at one of the startup. I have total uh, close to 4 years of experience. That's like bit about myself. So we'll see about the bit try, and I have one example. We'll apply this algorithm to the problem that I have, and we'll see how it works. Okay. So like if anyone has any questions, feel free to stop me. So we can we'll make it as an interactive session. So let's move on to next slide. So basically, visually, if we see how a binary tree will look like. So basically, it will have it is as simple as try, but it has the bit representation. Let's say if I have a value 0, initially the node is a root node, and if we go to left side, which is a value 0, and if we go to right side, which is a value 1. So like this, if we travel till leaf, uh, we will at the leaf we will have the actual number. So I hope like my mouse is visible, right? Is it visible, my mouse?
Yeah, yeah. Cursor is visible. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So basically, if we see this uh, branch, so basically it starts at 1 and 0. So which is in left side. If it is left side, we consider it as a 0, and if it right side, we consider it as 1. So 1, 0, until left it is 0 and 0. So at a leaf level we have 1 0 0, basically, which is 8. Similarly, if we take this branch, it starts with root, and it has 0 and 0. Basically, if you were to represent 0, so we it comes at this part. Okay, like similarly, at the leaf level, we have the numbers. Let's see like how this is useful, storing this data in this way, and we'll solve one problem. Then we'll understand how it works. Basically, I have one problem. Given an integer array which has the numbers, what we have to do is we have to find the two numbers which has maximum XOR. So here in this example, if we see for if we do for 5 and 25, if we do XOR, we get 28, and if we take any other combinations, that is we get the result which is less than 28. Okay, so anyone want to guess the approach, like any of the approach?
Brute force would be convert every number to binary and compute XOR and store it and compare.
Yeah. So that is one way. So any other approach?
Another brute force could be just check all ij n square and see the XOR of both numbers.
Yeah. So correct. Yeah. So it is basically the complexity will be n square. So if we see one approach, basically we use two for loops and we iterate and find the XOR of two numbers I and j, and we find out the max XOR. So that will be the answer. Let's say if you want to optimize further, so let's try to optimize further, and that's where this binary try will help us. Okay, so from the example, we have a number 3, 10, 5, 25, and 2 and 8. So I am representing all the numbers. If you can see at the leaf level, 3, 2, 5, 10, and 25. So I am representing in the binary tree representation. So for 3, for understanding purpose, I have taken 5 bits. So basically, if you can see, we have only 5 bits for any number. So basically, if you see the input, we have from 0 to 2 power 31 minus 1. Basically, it comes around 32 bits. We'll solve a problem by using 32 bits, but for visual understanding, I have taken 5 bits, so it is easy to understand. For 3, we if we take the 3, it has like from the root, if we see for 0, basically for 3 it is 0 0 1 1. So it comes to left side 0 0 0 and 1, which is the right to 0 0 and 1. basically 3. Like that, we represent all the numbers. For 2, we don't construct a new branch, just we use the all the values. Since it is a 5-bit representation, it is a 00010. Similar way, we represent all the numbers. For 25, since like it starts with 1, we get the new node, which is right node. And for 1, we have one more node, 1, 0, 0, 1. So any questions here about the representation?
Yeah, but I did not understand how it is constructed. Like I see there's all possible combinations, but if I don't know like how, like I see 0, 1 and then 0, 1, 1, but like
Okay,
I
so basically,
yeah.
how it is, those were linked. Am I correct?
Yeah, like how, why you have like in the leftmost left child of all of, if you follow all the left child, you have 0, 0, 0 and then 1 there and then 1 again. Like why
Yeah.
don't you have like 0, 1 and why you don't have a right child of on the 1, 2, 3, 4th level, right? Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat again?
So if we go on the, after you have the root node called try, if you go on first, second, third, fourth, you just have 1 coming from that
Yeah.
0. Why not a right child here? Like how do you decide when to have a right child, when not?
Yeah. So basically, visually, I have represented like this. It should be like this. So right side. So why I'm saying right side is, for suppose let's take any node. There is only 2 possibilities. Either it can be 0 or it can be a 1. Okay. So when I'm constructing a new level, so if you can see this rectangle box, I can have 2 possibilities which of length 2, which is 0 and 1. When I'm representing number 3, which is all triple zeros and double 1, from the first I construct one node, and I will assign at the 0th level. At index 0, I have one value which is 0. Just I will enable it just to track, like it starts with a 0. Then to that 0, I will link to another 0. So we'll see the implementation. I think that way it is easy to understand, I guess.
So
Okay,
can I
well-
imagine that 0 comes to the left and 1 comes to the right always?
Sorry.
0 comes to the left and 1 comes to the right always. Like that I can imagine the tree.
Yeah, you can imagine that way.
Okay.
Basically, you
But-
can consider this as an array with a size 2.
Okay. got it.
Index 0 and index 1.
Oh,
Okay, and
So, yeah.
so
Yeah, go on.
one question is that before this slide we said that I think it is the same question whatever just asked. So left child is always 0 and right child is always 1. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, but this is just for representing. It was different, right? At some level, basically, left child is also 1. For example,
level
at
fourth
Yeah.
level.
4th level.
Yeah. So you
Okay.
can see here it is 1. Basically, it comes at right side, but
Okay.
in order to
And
fix
and
it,
the
just
second,
make it.
okay, and second question is that we want all the leaf node always to represent value. That's why we padded 3 with multiple zeros, and it did not start.
Yeah.
So that is how we want, right?
Yeah. So from the problem, if we can see, the number can be 2 power 32 31 minus 1.
Yeah.
Basically, if you take that number, it has 32 bits representation.
I understood.
So, yeah. So for here in our case, just to understand, I have taken only 5 representation. But when we come to implementation part, we'll be considering all the 31 bits representation. So basically, for 3, before these 2 ones, we'll have around 29 bits.
I see. And
yeah, around 30 bits.
I see. And but so that is understood. So what I understood is that the depth is always 31, right? In this case, 32,
yeah.
right?
32.
But
Yeah.
at any level, there can be element or not element, right? Depending on what number we want to put into this tries.
Yes.
Okay.
So you mean to say if we take at this level, third level, it can have any element?
So what I mean to say is that at the first level there is 2 children, and then second level
Yeah.
there is only 3. So that is how we will store also, right? Or we will store all 4 there.
So it is not like we only have 3 at the second level. We can have multiple also. It basically depends on the numbers that we have.
Okay.
So if we can, yeah, we'll go to implementation part. So let's see how it works then.
All right.
Yeah. So let's see the insertion part. How I will construct this try, and we will see how we can retrieve some element which has the maximum XR. Okay. Initially, we have a try, and let's see the structure. We have one array, one node basically, which has size 2, and it has a value. Okay. And if we come to insert part, let's say I'm inserting number 3. Okay. So initially we'll come to this try root part, and 3 has let's like around 20, 30 numbers and 1. So basically that the representation in binary representation, we consider all the 32 bits, and we come from 32, because like the first level will be the most significant bit, and we start with the 31 and it goes till 0. Okay. So we'll find out the most significant bit, whether it is 0 or 1. Let's say in this case, in the case of 3, we have a n value as 0. So this is the right shift operator, right? So if we do a right shift 31 times, so we get the this one value at most significant bit, and we do AND operation with 1. If it is 1, we get 1. If it is 0, we get 0. Basically currently it is 0. When we do AND with 1, we get the 0. So now I have a value 0, which is like this one. And if you can see, currently I check whether the root has which is a children with the 1 value set or not. Sorry, 0 value set or not. So basically it checks like something like node children of 1. Is it already set or not? So it is null. Basically we don't have right now anything. So just we consider one node which is had 2 children of 0 is some node. It is like just we are enabling. So just while retrieving, just we'll see whether it is set or not. If it is set, that means it has some value. So we find out at which index that is set, either at 0 or a 1. If it is set as 0, that means we have a bit 0 at that place. If it is set at 1, we have a bit 1 at that place.
Question here. So the line 37, we are looking for if children n. So n is the index, right?
At what? Sorry, can you repeat?
On the line 37, n. Okay.
Yeah. 30.
And n is the most significant bit.
Yeah, which is 0 currently.
Okay.
So if we see the representation.
Basically,
Okay,
it's index 0 or 1. It cannot be more than 0 or 1.
Yeah, correct.
Can you quickly show definition of head?
Okay, sure. So head is basically a root where I'm initially having a root, which is a new try node. It will have 2 children and 1 value.
I see. Okay, perfect.
Yeah. So at nth index, we create one node, and then we'll move on to next level. If we see visual representation, now we have created this. Now we want to move to next. So we have to create either next can be 0 or it can be 1. So based on the next set bit, since basically it has 0, and again it comes to at this place and which is not set, and we create one more node at a 0. So it is 0. So like this we iterate for all the 32 bits, and we create structure like this. Is it clear? Any questions in the insertion part? And if we can see at the last, I am just storing a value which is original value at last level 3, 2, 5, 10, 25. Any questions here? Can we move on?
Yeah, we can move.
Yes.
Okay, so can anyone guess what is the time complexity for this method?
It would be O of 30 n.
Yeah, it is not an O of 31 because we iterate 31 time, 32 basically, which is a constant time.
Correct.
Or we can say it as log 2 of number, whatever number. So basically that gives the number of bits. Okay, so now we'll move on to actual part, how we will find the max XR. Okay, now we'll see from the diagram, then we'll go on to picture. So let's say I have a value 3 and I want to find the max XR with the 3. Okay, if you can see 3, it is like basically triple zeros and double one. So in order to maximize the XR, we try to find out the most significant bit, which is set. So basically, if we see that XR, if we have one XR 0, that is 1, and one XR 1, that is 0. Okay. So let's say at this case, if we have 0, we'll try to find out a number from the other numbers which has more significant bit 1. Okay. So if we go by this way, we'll let's say in this case we have one number which is set, and it will contribute to power that bit position times to our answer. Okay. So similarly for the next bit, let's say for 0, we try to find out the numbers which are set with 1, because like if we do XR with 0 with 1, we get 1. So we want to maximize the answer. Okay, so we do like that. So we'll go through the diagram and see. So basically in this example, with the 5 and 25, we get the maximum answer, which is 28. Let's see how we can find out the 25. So from the diagram, we have representation of 25. It's the right side, and let's take the 5, which is 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay. So first bit is a 0. So if I have a 0, I will try to find out a number which has 1 at that level. Okay. So at this level, I have a number. I have a value 1. So I try to traverse to this direction. So from here, now at second level, I have 0. I will try to find out 1. So basically, like I can go in this direction and find 25. If I do XR of 5 and 25, I get 28. Basically, we do XR for all these values, 3 with all the possibilities. Let's say if we take 3, which is 0, for most significant bit, I try to find out XR with negate. Basically, it is a negation. So if I have 0, I try to find out 1 so that I can get the maximum. For 0, I try to find out 1, which is a maximum. Similarly, we do like this. At last level, we get 0. So it is basically 16 plus 8 to 24.
Did not get it properly.
Yeah. Any questions? Okay.
So
Okay.
each-
Okay. Let's. Okay. I will explain with an example here. I have 5, which is a 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. Okay. If we were to maximize the XR, like question is about finding two values which has maximum XR. Okay. So if I want to find out the maximum answer, I have to find element which I don't know. How do we find this element which we don't know? So we'll see the try and we try to get the number. Okay. So for 0, let's say I want I want to maximize. So if I get 1, it will contribute to my final answer because 0 XOR 1 is 1, right? Are you able to follow?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, the one question before we proceed is how we decided we have to find this kind of transpose of 5 and not any other number? Or we are just gonna check for every
Transpose.
number and then transpose as in negation, like you're saying if it's 0, we want
Yeah.
an element with a 1. So how we landed
Yeah.
on 5 here?
Okay, basically I've taken example of 5.
Okay, but we have to do
in
this
the
for
problem,
every okay, got it.
every element.
Correct.
Well, you
So
don't have to do for every element, right? Because in the trie structure, if you start from the root, if you can go back to the representation, and every time at every level, if you find, like in the first level, you see what you have written, the choice 0, because it's opposite to 1.
Yeah.
Correct. So you find a 0 and 1. That's the most complementary, and that will give the maximum result, right? So, but if you go to second level, in that you are saying you can still find 0 and 1. Okay, so that is the way you are traversing. You don't have to go through all and each and every number, but as soon as you are going through each and every level, you will find the complements. And if you don't find the complements, like what you have on the level 4, right, you don't have anything. So the path will always go from 1 to 0 on your left side, and in the similar case, from 0 to 0 on the right side. So because you don't have any other branches, because that will be the maximum number. So, and at the last level, if you see, you have no other option but to go to 1, 1, from 0 to 1, right?
Yeah.
So the trie actually gives you that path. So you don't have to go to each and every number, but because if we imagine there were many numbers, here we have only 5 numbers, but if you have many of them, so it's basically just going through only 2 paths. And that is what is saving on a lot of time complexity.
So first we find this complement, and then whichever level does not satisfy that particular, like if we want 1 at the first, and if we don't find 1, we just discard all those paths.
Right, right.
We don't discard. Okay, so we basically we
go
don't
by
discard.
example?
Sorry.
Yeah, we'll continue that example one which you're showing so that.
Okay, yeah. If that is understandable, let's go through that.
So I take 5 initially. So now from the 5, I try to find out an element which can give me a maximum XOR. Okay. So basically this is 0 initially for 5. This in the representation it is 0 0. It is in blue color. Okay. So when I'm at initial most significant bit, which is 0, then I'll try to negotiate and find the element which has 1. Okay, so in the structure I have 1, so I consider 1, and I don't know the element yet. I'm just finding the element. Okay, so we'll move on to next level, which is 0, and we try to negotiate this 0 and find the element which is basically 1. So now we have 2 possibilities. So now if you can see, we have 2 possibilities. In order to in order to go through the one way, so because like initially we got 1 level, and we will go in that direction only, not here, will not come to here, because at level at 0th level we already have 1 which we got, which we maximized. So we want to take that only, not this one, not 0. So that's why we don't go to in this direction 0 1 0, and we will continue with the 1 only, because we got a mode segment bit which has 1. Okay, so I got one more 1 here. Now I'm at this position which is 1. If I negotiate, I need 0, which is 0. Okay, so when I'll try to next bit which is 0, and I try to find out negate of 0 which is not there, so I consider 1 is not there, so I consider 0 only. So now we come to last bit, which is 1. I try to find out the negate of 1, which is 0, which is not there, so I consider 1. Okay, so
Sorry, Leon.
you can see here.
Sorry, can everyone mute, please? Thank you.
Yeah, Gopal, you can continue now.
Yeah. is 0.
Okay, so
So
if
we do
to diagram, what basically we are doing is that. Okay,
Bhavesh,
so
can you repeat again?
at every level, right, we have a choice basically, and we have to choose two number, right? Let's say that at the 0th level there is only one number.
Yeah.
Everything's under 0, then we don't have choice. We just take 0. Otherwise, at every level we will have initially there is 2, but thereafter we can have a possibly 4 choice, right? One, two children of 0 and 2 children of 1. So and out of this 4 choice, basically we choose whichever give us the maximum, right?
Correct.
Whichever give the maximum, right?
We straight away don't choose the maximum. We have to consider previous values also, because like we want to maximize the most significant bit.
Yeah. So first maximize that, then you come down level below, right? Let's say that at level 2 in this example, we have a 1's children also have a 0, 1, and 0's children also have 0, 1. Then how we decide which one and which 0 to take? Because I can take anything. If my left side I take 0, then right side I can take 1. Or if my left side I can take 1, right side I can take 0.
Okay, so this level you are speaking about, right?
Yeah. If suppose we have a right side also, we have a 0. 0, 0, 1.
Okay.
Yeah. Here also if we have a 0. Now which 0, 1 combination I should take?
Okay, so it depends on the number that you are currently at. So basically, if I'm at this position, which is like it can be 3 or it can be 5. Further, if we go down, and at this position I have 0. Now, in previous position, I have one path which I have found 1. So my interest is to traverse in this direction only. All the children of this node only, not all the children of this node, because I want to maximize the number. So which I found early at the previous level, we will have the maximized so far, maximum element so far. So we intend to traverse in that direction only. So because like if I come to here again, like it is basically we are coming from 0 to 1 and finding out another number which is 10, which gives the less number. But we are interested in the maximum MST, like maximum set bit, and which can give the maximum XR.
Yeah, but what he was saying is, Bhavish, at the level 2.
But basically, if you have a saying something?
No, you're good. Yeah.
No. I think so. What I was trying to say is that what if I have a children 0, 1 and 0, 1 both at the level 3? For let's say that for this number we don't have. So if first I choose 0 and 1, right? See, at the level 1, I don't have any choice. If there are 2 children, I have to choose both of that. If there's only 1 children, I have to choose one of that. So that's fine. I chose it, right? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
If I go below, then I can have a multiple choice, right? Depending on what children I have. Suppose 0 also have a 0, 1 children, and the parent 1 also have a 0, 1 both. Now I can take left side 0 and right side 1, or I can take left side 1, right side 0, right? Both will give me maximum XOR.
It can. So basically, that is correct. But the thing is, we need to consider this value, which is 0. And in previous level, you already have taken 1. Okay. So you already have taken 1.
Previous level, if I have taken 1 on the opposite side, I see.
Then you will be traversing in this direction.
Yeah. So the right side will be the maximizing one, and the left side will be the minimizing one. So if you had after 1, also you had a 0 for that right side. But if you see the second left one side of the left side 1 and 0 won't give a maximum number, right? So therefore he has taken always the left side 0 because he already has that, and the right side 1.
No, but left and right we are saying here, but actually we are XORing those digits, right? So if I take left side 0, right side 1, or left side 1, right side 0, at that local it is giving me maximum value, right?
Yeah, but then he is also looking from where he's coming from on the top side.
I see.
Yeah, because like we keep track of the number, which we know. For every number we find out the max. basically it works in that way. So currently, if
Okay.
you can see, for 5 we are trying to find out the max.
Oh, I see. For
Similarly, if
every
we
number we are trying. Okay, okay, understood. Okay,
yeah
let's go ahead. Okay, I think okay.
yeah.
Okay. I thought it is we have to just do one pass, and each level I choose it, and I don't have to go for each number.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it will
So
be
yeah, in
each
that way we
level.
can.
Yeah, it will be each level, but he will be comparing all the numbers in that level. But it's not like going through all of them, because that happens in the try. If you just compare now, whenever we are coming from the top level, we are only considering 2 nodes, right? So 2 nodes will have 4 choices. So in that
Exactly.
4 choices, whatever is the best, he is going to pick up and continue in that path.
Yeah.
Then at the time, he will only have the.
So okay, now that is perfect what you told, Santosh. So let's say level 2, right? I have a 0 also. You said that there is a 4 choice, right?
Right. Yeah.
Now, so why I'm just on left side, why I'm just taking 0 only and not 1 also? Because if left side I take 0, right side I take 1. If left side I take 1, right side I take 0.
Okay, so
Then
currently I'm starting with the 5, and in next case I'll be considering this also 10 also. So in that case 0, and if I come to 1 here, so now I try to find
I
out
see.
negate of 1. That
but
time
what
I'll be considering that.
Okay, so if we are going through all the numbers, then it is fine. But if we are, what I understood is that there is optimization so that we don't have to go through each number.
Okay, okay. So yeah. So currently I'm traversing through all the numbers.
Okay,
and
okay.
trying to find out the value. Because basically I need to find 2 values which can give me max XR.
All right.
Okay, then that's a different implementation.
One question is like we are depending on the previous one, right? Then why we are going like we already determined that answer, right? This is the number. Then why we are going further down? That is my question.
No.
Yeah. Let's say at level 1 I have 1, and currently at right side I have 1. Let's say if there is a possibility of having 0 here.
Okay.
Okay. So in that case I can't go straight away to right. So I have to consider based on this element, whatever I am at currently. Based on that element, I need to find out the most significant bit. It can be 0 at this position or 1 at this position.
So the path is that only, like either you start from that parent only all the way. Yeah.
Yeah. So part is this only. It can be left or right side depending on the current value. Okay. So so now I think it is pretty clear. We'll go on to the implementation part. So basically, this is the main method where I am getting the numbers, which is integers. So first I try to create a query, insert a try. Basically that we have a discussion. So for all the numbers, we are constructing a try for all the numbers. So that will be like basically we'll be doing order of 32 into n. Okay. So and then once a try is ready, then we for each element for initially for 3 we try to find out the maximum number. So we'll see this implementation now. I'll be giving whatever number I am starting with. So in our case it can be initially it will be 3. So for 31, if you can see, like we try to find out the most significant bit, and if that is a 0, then we look for 1. If that is 1, we look for 0. Basically it is kind of a negating the bit. So if I have a if I don't have anything, just I consider the whatever element I take, or if I have the element we have the bit which I am looking for, just I consider that bit. So I'll keep on traversing like this till I find a number. Okay. So at last let's say if I find some number, just I return that number. That comes to a top. Then I do whatever number I sent and whatever max I got, I do XR. Just I try to store it in max XR value. So at last we return the max XR.
Okay.
One
that
question.
makes sense. Yeah.
How we are like can you come down, Gopal? So 53 versus 56. What is the difference? Like line number 53, 56. We are.
So So now I am I want a bit which is 1. I'm looking for a bit after negating I'm looking for a bit which is 1. Let's say if that is not there in this path. Okay. So if it is not there in that path, what we do, we directly take whatever is at this point. I just take that. So if you can see, I am taking whatever required here. And if it is there, just I am taking it. If it is not there, just I am taking whatever my original value is. Just I am trying to find out if it is 0, I try to find out 1. If I have 1, I take 1. Or if I don't have 1 in the try, then I take 0.
Okay.
Is
if he can find a complement, he takes on go to line 53, or else he goes to whatever is he has a choice, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so sorry, I got your part. Like you have to go through each and every number and call that get max, what their function is, right? Yeah. So, therefore the time complexity instead of O n square now it reduces to just O of n.
O of n. Yeah. Correct.
Yeah, perfect. I think now I got it. Yeah.
You can just submit this.
And the important thing is how it reduces to O of n is very important, because whenever he takes any number, he doesn't have to have a sorted array. So he just takes any number. So every time whenever he's doing a max OR, at that number, whatever is the maximum number, he will get that number, and then he will keep on moving it. So whenever he starts with any number, so if that number is highest on that, because now if you look at the try representation, it's almost like a sorted way. If you just see that, yeah. So now only at the end he has flipped 2 and 3, but it should be 2, 3, 5, 10, 25. So whenever if you just go for the left side, you will always reach to 2. And then if you just have a flip of last 1 and 2, then you will go to 3. So that way they are already sorted. So whatever you place you start, you will always get the maximum of that at that for that particular number. And that is the reason you can do all this in O of n.
Yeah. Okay, so just there is one more problem, just like if which uses the same concept. Like if anyone wants to try, then they can try it. So it has like basically binary implementation only. Prior to that, there will be doing some operations based on the quotient. So that can try. So that like it's kind of an application of this TV. And there is a blog which was like pretty good blog, which has like some set of problems which use the binary try concept. So you can, like, if you'd like to go through it, you can go through this blog. Okay, so any questions? That's pretty much I have.
Yeah, this is a good one, and actually it gives a very good time complexity if you use try for this particular application, right? Yeah. So if you look at that example, what you were showing, that 17, I think the maximum XOR with an element from array, it is almost similar to what you did, right?
So this one, right?
This one.
Okay, it is almost similar, almost pretty similar. Just we have to do some before doing this, we have to do some kind of a sorting, and this is like we'll get to know about pretty much deep understanding of the binary tree concept. Basically, it is a hard level. I have taken medium level for the explanation part. So.
Right. So basically, it is like maximizing XOR with an element from an array. So you are given a nums array consisting of non-negative numbers, and then you are given a query like this, 3 and 1.
Queries.
Yeah. So what that query says is that the first number, which is xi, so you XOR the maximum bitwise with that value, and for any number in that nums array, so whatever is your maximum number, that you have to return.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So if you look for 3, and then so whatever is 1 is the number. So you have to look for in your nums array. So any number lesser than or equal to 1, if you XOR with 3, so in that case, we find 0 and 1, which are actually lesser than or equal to 1. Then if you XOR with 3, so whatever is greater, in this case 0 to 3, if you XOR, you will get 3. And if 1 to 1 XOR 3 is going to give you 2. So therefore 3 is greater than 2, and then you return 3 in that case. So that is the way you keep on doing that, the queries. So your implementation will help in this case, and it should be.
Basically, insert and search will be same, but only
Right.
thing is we have to do some sorting to the queries so that we can find out. Like basically, it has some prior things to do.
Okay, but instead of sorting, even if you maintain something like a minimum value and each and every level, so you should be able to do some pre-processing there.
Yeah, that so we can do that way also.
Yeah, so that will avoid doing that sorting.
Yeah.
So because whenever you are inserting any number at that every node, if you maintain a min value, so and then when you are querying, you can always look at that min value. And then you can restrict your. Yeah, that is a good one. Yeah, I'm also not prepared for that one, but yeah.
One question: why we are sorting here?
Basically, okay. So I think I have to just. I'm not prepared. Just I have to see the question.
I think for construction of trie, you are sorting, I guess, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I will be having queries on sorting.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe. So why he's sorting is because he wants to take whatever, wherever he's going, he wants to find whatever is the minimum. So he cannot go further in that.
Yeah, correct. Okay. Yeah, like you guys can try this problem. If you have any doubts or something, then you can post it in channel. I'll happy to help.
Can you place these links in the Discord channel, not in the Zoom chat, because Zoom chat will go off.
Yeah, sure. I'll place in Discord channel. Okay, yeah, that's it. Thanks for joining.
Yep, thank you. This was a good one, yeah. Yeah, this topic is slightly not so easy, I would say. So it involves a lot of practice, and also there are very few problems which use this technique. But in future, we'll see a lot of other stuff coming up. But that's very important, and it actually reduces here what he showed initially. The time complexity reduces from O(n) square to O(n), and that's a big achievement, right?
Yeah. More questions are there indeed. Yes.
Yeah, at least I know there are two more. So whatever he showed, and that is one. I can quickly show that implementation of the second one, but I'm also not very what you say. Okay, so the one what he was showing is this one, the sum, right?
Yeah.
I'll have to go through it again, but yeah. So we're saying that if we had nums like this 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have these queries. So usually you take this number, and that is what we have to go through, because this array looks to be sorted, but it is not. It can be any way if you see this example too. So if you have any number, so this number you have to look for in this nums array all the numbers which are lesser than or equal to this number 1 in this query. So in this case we have only 0 and 1, and then use all these two numbers with this the first three, that is the xi what is given to us, And after doing that XORing, so whatever is the maximum results by XORing 3 with 0 and 3 with 1, so you just have to return that answer. So that you have to do for all the queries. So that is what it states. And that is the reason he was using a sorting technique there. But without sorting also it will help. So the way now, okay, I'm doing here is, this was my function signature, which is my input nums, and these are the queries given to me. So I just construct a try. I insert all the numbers in the try here, and then I go through the query. For each and every query, this is my x and this is my num m. And then I just call a max XOR for every of them. So I get whatever is the maximum value. And in this case, if you see, I just have to do only one max XOR function instead of going through all the numbers. Okay. And this can be avoided, this can be done by the way you have stored some additional information in the try node. You know, so like if we see that we were looking for 0 and only 1. So in that case, if we store some value or some information like the minimum value, so that will avoid us for further going in this nodes. And I'll just show you how the implementation is. That will help in understanding. Okay, so in this case, the try node, I'm just maintaining a value called minimum value. And in his case, he was using some value called as a value, which was actually representing the value of the number at that particular location, at that particular node. But in this case, it is minimum value. So whenever you are inserting any number at a particular level, so like if you go through this insert function, and then you start for each and every bit here, and for every bit, if you try to find whatever that nums index is, whether it is 0 or 1, so that bit based on the node what you have currently. So if it is not, then you try to create it. So when you're creating, then you actually move to the next one. But before that, actually you save the minimum value. So whatever is the minimum value of that number when you are actually traversing. So if you store that information, that will be very helpful when you actually find the max XOR. So this max XOR is slightly different. When you, it is another searching function. So you just go through each and every bit, and again you do the same thing of actually finding what you have to look for. Here also you'll try to find the max XOR. So the way he was doing for the complementation part or finding the maximum, he was trying to find it, right? Whatever was the bit, you just find the complement of that bit, whether it exists or not. But along with that, if you also compare with the minimum value, and if your minimum value is lesser than what your number you are going through, then you follow this path, you know. So the way he was doing for those two paths, so you have an additional condition to look for. So if it is not lesser than, it doesn't make sense because your number is greater in that case, right? So therefore you don't follow that number. And that is the reason you actually prune it very well by just adding this min value over here. And else if it is not there, then you again still have to look, because even if you are going in the other direction, and you still have to see that your number is always greater than your minimum value. Okay, then only go in that path, or else then you have to return that you don't find that number. So that is what you'll find at the end. So that reduces a lot. So or else you will have to go through each and every number, right? What he was doing again, but it will be O of n for each and every query. So that will be like O of n into n. It will be n square. But now we are using this technique and just adding that min value. It reduces to, for each query, it will be just one operation.
Right. I actually think that it's easier if we pre-process the queries and maintain the invariant that try only contains elements less than limit at any moment. Then we don't have to modify the try code.
Okay, so what are you saying in this case?
We sort all the queries based on limit, and at every moment we check a query and we add all the numbers that are less than limit into the try. So whoever is inside the try is going to be less than limit for sure. So we can just make the normal query like how it was done in the previous question. Normally, just max XOR in the tree. And when the next query comes, we know limit is greater. So all the elements that are already inside are valid, but whichever new elements that are added that are less than this limit, we add them into the try again. So we just maintain one invariant that all elements in the try while making query, first query, are less than the limit for sure.
Okay.
But if the queries are dynamic, I don't think so that will help. I mean, here it's fixed query already.
Yeah, for this scope it is okay. Yeah. So okay, so the way his implementation was, you sort this array.
Yes,
and you
queries
look at
by
the
limit.
query. Okay, so whatever at that particular you have this max value, you only insert those number of in that try, right?
Yes.
And
Only
then you
up to
start
1.
working. Okay, yeah, yeah, that makes sense. And then if you increase the query like here 3, so then you just insert another 2 and 3.
Yes.
Okay, and then you look for it. Yeah. So I think
Yes,
that is also one way of doing it. Yeah. Okay.
I think that's like easier to code. I have the code. If anyone
Okay.
wants to see.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. If you want, you can share it.
So first I sort all these numbers and I sort the queries, okay, by the limit. Now, these are my tree functions. One is to get the bits of a number, another to add to the try, and search max will just do the same thing. If opposite is exist, then we'll go to opposite. Otherwise, we'll go to the same bit. Greedy solution, MSB should be opposite, same method. So there's no change in try code. It's just that we do it over here, the change. So for each query, we add all the numbers that are less than that query into the try. So I've sorted it in descending order, so I can just pop from the behind all the smaller numbers. So all the numbers that are smaller than M are inside my try for sure. And I just search for the max inside try. Next query comes, and again, next query is having a higher limit. So I add all the remaining numbers, 2 and 3. Next query comes, I add 4. So we don't have to modify anything here, just pre-process and do it on the go.
Yeah. This is also good. So this is the sorting way. I think he was also doing the same thing, right, Gopi?
Yes, Santosh, I was doing same thing.
Okay. Then that makes sense. So you sort it and then actually you just insert whatever those values are there.
Similar, one we do in DSU problem of check if 2 points are connected under the particular graph weight, edge weight, using edges less than particular weight.
Yeah, so the reason why you're saying, because your try implementation remains the same. If the templatized version, you don't have to modify it. Yeah, that also makes sense.
Yeah,
but the time complexity is more, Q log Q.
Yes.
Yeah, but for instead of n square, it is still better, right?
Yes.
Or else if you the normal way, it will be n square for each and every query. So, but here you are doing only n log n, and not n log n, but it will be lesser than that based on the query's value.
Log Q, n log Q.
Yeah.
No, this one is a time complexity.
It would be actually n log n plus Q log Q, since I'm sorting both of them, nums and queries.
So
I don't think it's given sorted, so it is.
No, it's not sorted. If you look at the example 2, it is not sorted. You have to sort it.
So it will be n. So n plus that query, right?
N log n plus
he will sort
Q
that.
log Q.
The complexity of that.
Bhavesh, we are sorting both the queries and array also.
And the nums.
This one I understood. But whatever Santosh, his implementation, there's no sorting, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
What is the complexity of that?
That will be for every query, it will be O of n then, right?
So Q plus to build the tree, and then go for every query, find its minimum, right?
Right.
Was that Q plus n?
It will be Q plus n, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in that case, it will be Q plus n. But then that is what his argument is, because this try implementation, it is slightly non-standard way, because we add something And that is what actually, yeah, it is easier and it gives a much better time complexity, but you are modifying your standard try implementation.
Yeah, I agree. I think as long as it satisfy the answer, we should try to have a templatized code for all of these, right?
Right.
Things, so that we make not mistake there, and
Yeah. Exactly. But if the interviewer drives in, then we can always talk about it, saying, okay, we can slightly modify this, but use the templated version because it's more easier to code also and implement. But for just discussions purpose, this would be a good option to discuss, but not to implement directly straight away, right? Yeah, I agree.
Right. Yeah, I think both approach are important to know, basically,
right,
depending on the requirement, because one of that.
Yeah.
Great. I think that this was a great discussion. If you are not discussing anything else, I will just stop recording.
Yeah, I think because there is another one, but it's slightly harder problem. And if Johan wants to discuss about that, the count pairs with XOR in a range, even Gopi, there is one more problem on this trizor. If not, then yeah, we will stop.
Does anyone are they comfortable discussing now?
I have not solved that.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, so we'll take it later sometime. Yeah.
Santosh, what is that trizor? Can you share that link?
Yeah, it is 1803. I'll share in the call.
1803. Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'll share it.
Okay.
But that also needs some slight modification in the try node. Yeah. Yeah, we'll take it later for some session.
Yeah, so let me stop recording. Okay, this is great. Gopi, will you be able to put those links that in the Discord channel?
Yeah, Bhavesh, I've already posted in Discord.
Oh, okay.
Oh, which channel? There are so many channels, right? Which channel to?
Okay, so I posted in weekly algo session.